Lord Shiva drinking the poison, or Halahal. So at what's called the Samudra Mountain, or the churning of the ocean, Lord Shiva drinks the poison, called the Halahal. Before the Amrita could be formed, first the poison was formed. Shiva chose to consume this poison and drank it. So what is the poison? Well, let's take a look at what is going on with the waters of this world, and if there could possibly be a connection between that and the poison. When I was younger, the waters of this world did not look as they do today. Today's waters are green or off-colored. Even when I went to Switzerland, the waters of the Rhine River, I believe it was green. Waters here, where I live in the Midwest of America, are greenish. Much of the oceans are turning green. So why is this? Well, it has to do with what's called climate change, which I believe has nothing to do with humans, but with gases inside the earth and the heating up of the sun. As the earth heats up, there is more phytoplankton and algal blooms, which is a cyanobacteria. The exceedingly warm temperatures of the world help the algal blooms grow rapidly. These can produce toxins that are harmful to people and wildlife, including fish. Some beaches have even had to close due to this toxic water. The bacteria can use up oxygen and create dead zones where fish and aquatic life suffocate. Blue-green algae create toxins. This is affecting both saltwater and freshwater. This can affect drinking waters in certain areas as well. The toxins produced are so potent they affect liver function, and there is neurotoxins produced. The entire marine ecosystem is at risk. Airborne marine toxins can also contribute to respiratory symptoms such as coughing, worsening of asthma and throat irritation, lung conditions, or other issues. Okay, so like I said, I don't believe any of this is due to humans, or it has little to do with us. Obviously, pollution is a concern, but I believe what's going on here is due to what's going on with the earth as the sun heats up, being turned into a dang whitish blue laser. So here we see an obvious issue with the waters of the earth turning into a type of poison. I think this also has to do with us living in an enclosed system. If we are in an enclosed system that is heating up as the sun increases its focus, we are basically trapped here, being fried up and got caught up in a type of feedback loop where it gets worse and worse until the end of the age. So now that we know what the poison is, how does Shiva drink it? Well, we discussed in another video what Shiva is, or what he stands for. He typically stands for the cosmic force above. So how would the poison or waters of the end of this age end up being drank up by this force? So let's assume we are in an enclosed system, as the religions and ancients all seem to believe. As temps heat up, this could cause more evaporation of the waters, which means more water vapor in the atmosphere. Water vapor itself is a gas, so it contributes to atmospheric pressure and can also increase heat retention if the atmosphere absorbs the heat. If there continues to be more and more pressure here in our enclosed system, at some point something has to give. If there's an enclosed system, there has to be a pressure relief valve. At some point that dome is going to break due to the pressure. I believe it'll break right in the center of that apex dome, and that's where the valve is. You could call that the Hebrew dalet, or the Greek delta, which means door or doorway. If there were to be an opening or rupture in the enclosure or enclosed system, gas would flow from the higher pressure region towards the lower pressure region, which would be the inverted dome or apex dome. So everything would fly up towards that dome. In other words, everything down here would fly up into the sky, including the waters, or the toxic waters, the poison. This is most likely where the Christian rapture comes from, or you'll float too, as Pennywise says in the movie It. This would happen at the world storm or tempest. So the toxic waters or the poison will fly up into the sky, seemingly drank by a great cosmic god in the sky. This is Shiva drinking the poison, the Halahal. So why does his throat turn blue, or where does the blue color come from or come in? We've already kind of gone over this. Blue is the color of the end time sun. So there will be blue seen from that end time sun. This is also the blue star Kachina of the Hopi, or Huitzilopochtli of the Aztecs. Huitzilopochtli is the hummingbird god. Also, I believe his association with the hummingbird, maybe because he's so fast, as the end time sun moves very, very fast as the age winds down. Blue will be the last color the sun is after white, which it already is right now at the current time. Also, I believe the beam of energy, or the blue beam, the solar hero, is born out of Mount Meru around this time. Ionized oxygen or plasma can be seen as blue or green, depending on a few things like the amount of energy exciting the atoms, and if the oxygen is neutral or ionized, and the pressure and density of the gases. In laboratory plasmas or electrical discharges, oxygen can contribute blue or green light depending on the plasma conditions. This also has to do with wavelengths and electrons changing energy levels and what transitions are occurring and the conditions of the gas. So I think that explains it all, as brief as that was. Obviously there's a lot going on and we are in the process of all this happening now. What's happening in our world energetically now is leading us to what has happened in these stories before. This story of Shiva drinking the poison before in our ancient past will happen once again, as time operates on the law of cycles. These stories aren't just stories, but reflections back to us of events that once happened and shall happen once again. Next video, we will speak on the importance of living out one's dharma, living with a purpose and knowing what that purpose is. Stay tuned.